Hey, welcome back, Hangover Gang. Today we're doing another video from Tom Macdonald, and this is his newest one, which is supposed to break the internet again, as usual. And it's called Dummies.
Yeah.
Just released today, and yeah, let's just jump straight into it.
Let's go there.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everything is sexist, homophobic, or it's racist. When life gives us lemons, we're supposed to want to change it. But my generation rather take some pills than escape it. Say that I'm transphobic if you wanna, but one day I'll be a father. And I really hope my son don't grow up to be my daughter. I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, skin should be a little thicker. That's the problem, being honest, got them triggered. The kids are getting weaker cause they're sheltered by society. Pumpkin spice Ativan for seasonal anxiety. Wokeness has become a way to bully non-violently and cancel everyone without improving on the life we live. Without the white, there's no black. Without the straight, there's no gay. Without the men, there's no women. Without the night, there's no day. Without the idiots, we couldn't laugh at them when they fall. So maybe we need them after all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all.
Oh my god.
That went to the chorus here.
Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Tom Macdonald is back again. This is going to really break the internet. Like, oh my god. He just comes with a big punch. Like, wow. Crazy lyrics, huh? He has mentioned quite a few things here that that will be very interesting to talk about, and I'm sure people are gonna be like, coming forth. But from what some of the things I heard him saying here, he's trying to be honest about some things, because he mentioned here, he said that's the being honest triggers something like that, like, so he's
Triggers people.
Exactly, triggers people. No one, they say the truth is bitter. Actually, it's a bitter pill. Sometimes when you come out direct to say something, some people don't take it, likely at all. He has mentioned about homophobic and transphobic. It's not a topic I like to really talk about, because lots of people have different feelings to this particular thing. And he mentioned that he's going to be a dad someday. And he wouldn't want...
That part is actually really cool, the way he did the lyrics. And it's kind of, he's just being honest.
Yeah. He said he's just being honest. He's not trying to hurt anyone's feeling. That people should grow a thick skin. Actually, we should have a large heart, There are things you would do or say that people are there who would like, people are there who would dislike, so you expect anything, grow a large heart, grow a thick skin, for whatever comes in. Like sometimes I say, I have like a big helmet around my head, whatever comes, bounce, back, bounces back. So generally, I think he's trying to say something here, like the truth about some facts, some things happening, realities happening, I don't know what side he is, but the part where he mentioned he's going to be a dad someday, he doesn't want his son to become a daughter someday. I get the picture totally, yeah, and wow, I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even the track starts with I love Earth, but I don't want to save it, something like that. And then he says that everything's homophobic, everything's racist, and all that. And I think what he means by that, like, the state of the whole Earth is like so messed up that he doesn't even want to save it. It's like, it's went past the point where it's actually like feasible to try and save anything in a way. Like it's, everything kind of went upside down, everything's turned up on its head. And he expresses a little bit of his views here, obviously. He's, totally allowed to do that. I know people, get triggered at things like that. But I mean, he's just being honest, That's how he feels. It's a, interesting discussion. For example, what happens, let's say, he does have a son. And his son would actually want to become a woman. Then what? You know what I mean? How would he handle something like that?
Sometimes
it's kind of interesting to think about it.
Sometimes I don't even like to think about it, because I have a daughter and I just imagine, okay, what if she decides to, do this? What would I do? So I just blank my mind sometimes Don't think about it.
You see what they say, like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Sometimes it's not worth, like, getting yourself worried about something.
Yeah.
Something that might happen. And it might not. You're going to spend time just worrying about it. So anyway, these are kind of his own views on the situation, and he thinks like the whole world is pretty much upside down. But then just before the chorus, there's he mentions something: without black, there's no white.
Yeah.
Without women, there's no man.
There's no man. Without straight, there's no gay.
Yeah. And I think this part of the lyrics is basically saying that we all need each other. We all need to coexist, and we all need to each other. One basically cannot exist without the other. We need to get along. And again, through all his tracks, there's always this underlying unity, like how people should unite. And, he mentions about how the children are, the way they grow up today, they're being sheltered, and they're not really exposed to like the real world in a way. And, when they grow up and actually, the reality hits them about many different things, they're not going to be prepared for it because at the moment they're being sheltered, which actually brings me to the funny point about our daughter, who always challenges my wife. She's basically jumping on the bed and always going to the edge of the bed, looking at my wife, trying to get a reaction. And I always say, just don't pay attention to her, or let her fall down once, she's going to learn. And she always reacts and tries and grab her and, protect her. And I understand the sentiment or your motherly love and trying to protect, but she needs to also learn that, okay, if I get too close to her, then I fall down and then it's going to hurt.
Learn the hard way.
Once she does that once, she will know. And unfortunately right now the babies don't understand the words, so they need to learn through experiences.
Interesting.
But yeah, I kind of like also how clean the video is. In some way it reminds me of No Lives Matter. Like the video is very clean, and maybe that's because they built the sets. So him and Nova, I think, built all the sets. Obviously they have pretty good lighting and everything seems very clean. I really like the look of the video.
Yeah, and then I'm noticing something that I'm tempted to say. This picture here, this particular scene looks like there's a lot of color, like a rainbow color that signifies like the gays and.
I was about to say that this part could be signifying like that part of the of the community there a little bit. So in general, like the video is really cool, and music wise, to me it seems like a very all over the place. It's a little bit like supposed to be kind of like a funny, crazy type of track, I think. You can rock to it. It's definitely not my favorite from his stuff, but it's kind of very, very chilled.
Yeah.
Kind of, not to be taken seriously.
Okay.
Let's continue here.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the balls. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really want it.
So that was the chorus.
Wow. Ain't nobody dumber than you.
For me, when he sings like dum dum dee dum dum,
So nice.
it's funny because the title of the track is Dummies, and then he says dum dum dee dee dum. I like the reference here, to that. And the mannequins. I remember him posting the stuff on Instagram where he was showing a little bit of like those mannequins, the hands. But to me, they represent like dummies. Actually, mannequins are kind of dummies in a way as well, isn't it? They're just kind of like sit there, kind of, not doing anything, just kind of like sheep.
They don't move, they don't talk, they don't do anything. When you move them to the left, they move. Move them to the right,
exactly.
They move. So it's like, just be dumb. You're just dumb. You don't hear anything. Nothing moves you, nothing shakes you. You're just there watching. You don't add anything to anything.
Exactly. Yeah. I find it cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good, like a reference.
Wow, interesting.
Let's go to the next verse.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everyone's obsessed with making stupid people famous. If a white boy raps, then it's called appropriation. But Beyonce has a hair blonde and people say she slayed it. Everybody's outraged, everybody's mad. Our solutions to the issues don't make no sense. If stairs are the problem, we build wheelchair ramps. We don't cancel feet or persecute the people with legs. The feminists who started the movement would be ashamed of so many things. They fought so you can vote, I'll show your butthole on OnlyFans. I'm not a bad person cause you don't like what I say. Call me homophobic just because I think straight. I love people even though we disagree. I wish we could get Wi-Fi signals from a tree. Then everyone would plant them and we'd probably save the planet for free.
Man.
Too bad we only need him to breathe. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have the guts of the balls. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 dum.
That sounds nice.
I love the earth, but I don't.
Oh my goodness.
Man, the track is like full
Oh my
on.
goodness, this is so crazy. Like I just find myself dancing and I already know the lyrics, singing the dum dum dum. This sounds really, really nice. Oh, he mentioned quite a lot of things here.
For me, the first thing that stood out in this verse was when he mentioned again, that if he's a white man and he's rapping, people will say that he's appropriating black culture, which is, the bit actually he did just in the Brainwashed. But then he mentions a counter to that is like when Beyonce dyes her hair blonde, people say she slayed it. Like, wow, she actually did well. Why people wouldn't say that she's appropriating white culture by trying to dye the hair blonde. So again, he's pointing out those like things about modern world that, are not really making sense. On one side, you'll get criticized for something, but then when someone else does something that's, comparable, they're not being called out for it, rather than, said, wow, he did like really well, or he did good. Which I think, yeah, it's kind of going that way from what I've seen in general. Things are getting a little bit kind of out of control. As he says here, everyone's like outraged and triggered today. You cannot make like jokes, talk about race, culture, like everything is like a sensitive topic.
It is.
You'll find someone who will get offended by, by what you like. Yeah.
Then he kind of mentions like he likes people even though they disagree. It's not, we all have our opinions and, to things, everything in life. So disagreeing is one thing. It doesn't mean I hate you. I could disagree with you over something. Does not mean I hate you, So that was really cool. And then he mentioned about Wi-Fi. He wish Wi-Fi grows on trees. Then everybody can plant a tree for free.
Okay, so with this thing, I think what he's saying is that, in today's world, everyone is consumed by social media, phone, internet. If you don't have internet today, like people would go crazy. You lose internet for a day and you're like, you don't know what's going on. Like you're just losing your mind. So what he's saying is like, if the trees would actually give a Wi-Fi signal, everyone would be planting the trees and that would save the earth. But then he contrasted, the trees just, to give you oxygen, which is obviously, much more important than you having access to the internet. But it's just, I think he's just mentioning or showing how ridiculous things are. You know?
The way people see things differently, And also, I think I'm also sensing how people take things that are not of value, to become very valuable, just like the Wi-Fi. Nobody would plant a tree. But if a tree can get a Wi-Fi, everybody will plant. I'm very sure I would have planted like almost 100 trees in my house because I would want to lose out Wi-Fi. And this tree is actually helping us to breathe, So it helps, gives us like fresh air, which is really good and protects the ozone layer and all that, which is really something we should be, serious about. But
Yeah, so again, I think this kind of example is highlighting how things are turning upside down. You know, people are being, as you mentioned before, you know, people like make a big deal out of small things. As I said, everything kind of is turned around. Everything's upside down. Yeah, I mean, he's very clever with the lyrics. I always find it very clever. Even though, you know, English is not my first language and trying to decode sometimes the messages is a little bit more difficult for me. But he always have like he has those clever ways of writing, you know, which I really love.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Classifying people by their sex and race degrades them, but we still say straight white males are the worst of our population. Guess the labels are okay if they're Caucasian. Our kids are living in their rooms, I swear we barely ever see them. Go outside sometime, there's fresh air you could be breathing. Put your phones down, play sports, do something illegal. Go and meet your families, they're probably nice people. These days you're a Nazi if you don't hate the police. They say that white folks think all Asian people are Chinese. I'm sorry, what kind of white people you mean? English, Scottish, German, Swedish, or Greek? And Black Lives Matter was problematic. It excludes anyone without the pigment, it's automatic. I understand all the reasons it happened, but including all humans is the actual answer. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. I guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the balls. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum dum.
Oh, and that was it.
oh my goodness,
2 new albums coming in September.
this is so cool. Oh my god.
He kind of looked like a mannequin there for a moment, but then he kind of, you know, his head goes up and he looks at you and like, actually, to me, it kind of signifies someone that thinks on their own, maybe. And, you know, he kind of actually wakes up and, you know, out of the crowd of all those mannequins that just stand and blindly, you know, look in one direction without, you know, being able to kind of, you know, have other views, look in different place or move. He's actually, you know, his head raises up.
Yeah.
Is just what I got from that last bit.
Yeah, I think now Dummies now could signify for me just the way I see it. This dummy signifies people who don't come out to say the truth. And it doesn't mean you should follow the crowd because they're saying this is black or this is white. You should be able to have a say, have your opinion to things. So even if everyone is staying dumb, just like the dummies, like keeping mute, quiet, not moving, not shaking, not, you know. I saw in one of the, I saw at some points, he took like the hands of the mannequin and was trying to like make them, even though the dummies won't move, he had to like, maybe try to change the dummies, try to move people, get close to people around you so you can unite, even if they are dummies.
Wow, now that you mention it, you know what I thought? Like when he mentions about like saving the earth, is like, you know, what you mentioned, he's trying to move the dummies and all this stuff, trying to save it, but it like turns out it's like pointless. You know, they're still stand there still. Once you leave them, they're just in there still, and you know, it's almost like how they say, talking to a wall. You know, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And he mentions about like, you know, even though they disagree, he might disagree. He likes,
He loves people.
He loves people. And I like the bit about Black Lives Matter, how he actually mentions that, you know, he understands the reason why Black Lives Matter became a thing, but, you know, excluding other pigments, you know, other races is actually not the answer. The answer is actually including everyone, which I really like.
Wow. This is interesting, like seriously. For me, just generally, what I just think this whole song is about is, you know, like the name implies, dummies. He's standing out. I can see from it, he stands also as a dummy, even though he has got like tattoos. And as well, like those tattoos shows like a difference. Like there's always a difference. So there are lots of people who would be quiet, who would not want to say, who would not want to speak out, even though they know the right thing, they know the truth, but they are scared. They won't, talk. But right here, he is, coming out to speak. He would always be different. So he's around, he's standing in the midst of dummies. Now, like you said, we should grow thick skin. Doesn't mean I am a dummy or anything because I'm not talking or anything, but the truth actually hurts. Like he said, the truth is a bitter pill. So he is going to be talking. He will stand out amongst dummies for people who would not want to, air their views or their opinion about situations and everything. He chooses to be different from everything. That's what I just think. It means just come out and stand and talk, air your mind, speak for yourself.
Other bit that stood out for me, and I kind of actually touched on a little bit just in the previous verse, is where he mentions, put your phones down, go out and play, go and speak with your parents or something like that. They're nice people.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Which, kind of making fun of you, like you don't even know your parents, like you're so consumed with, being online, and arguing over different things that you don't actually know your parents, I like this, they're nice people. And it's kind of true because I remember when I was a kid, we didn't have internet. Like every day we would be out playing with people, either, playing hide and seek, playing football, whatever it is. We would stay as long as we can, your parents would call you to come back and you're like, oh, give me another 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You would run around, you keep yourself in a good shape. Today, people have more of like a, sitting down style of living. Being on the phone, being on the computer, looking at the screen all the time, reading, different news and kind of all that. So I really like that bit because I really agree with that, You should be going out, enjoying life, speaking with other people, not just being consumed about some kind of a drama on the internet.
Wow. I like the way he chooses, his lyrics, and the way he mixes them up. Like it's so cool. It's really cool. Like,
yeah, I can definitely sense that he will get probably quite a lot of criticism about repeating certain points. Like the bit about appropriating white culture was just in the brainwash. And then in this actually last verse, he mentions about, if you don't hate a police, you're called Nazi,
yeah.
For example. And there was something very similar, if I remember correctly, in No Lives Matter as well. So, but I mean, these are things that I guess are close to his heart, that he feels are important, and he wants to talk about that. But I can definitely see that people will probably criticize him for that. To me, man, it's totally fine. I mean, he uses obviously different type of lyrics to kind of express those things. And if it's something that's close to his heart, it is, Other people don't have to listen to it, if they feel it's like repeating the same thing, you don't have to listen to it, In general, I like the track. It's very the beat is something that you think it's like not serious. The lyrics kind of sound a bit like that, but overall, there is like this, a bit more of a serious tone to it as well. Which I like, it's. I guess it's difficult to find the balance like that, but he usually manages really well,
Yeah, and I noticed also the black eye Tom is here as well. So I guess whenever he uses the eye, like you said,
oh yeah, that's right.
It's when he wants to speak out. Like he knows that people will come at him, but he needs to speak out. That's the problem today. Nobody wants to speak out because of the fear that people will criticize and talk. Let them talk. People will always talk. Whether you're doing good, people will talk. If you're doing bad, people will talk. There's always a talking. It doesn't matter. So I'm sure he has grown a thick skin. And so nothing ever gets to him really anymore.
He always, talks about having a dialogue uniting. This is like overarching ideas that he kind of talks about in his songs. All right, Hangover Gang. Thank you so much for watching our thoughts on his newest track. And remember to stay subscribed so you can check out our other tracks that we'll be looking at from Tom if you're interested. And until then, see you later.
See you.